Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. Many people wondering whether North Melbourne would actually get a win on the board this season. Well, I think the question was answered somewhat emphatically in Tasmania yesterday, with North Melbourne running out winners over Hawthorn there, 13-9-87, 7-point winners over the Hawks. And joining us now is a man, I don't know if it was elation or just sheer relief. That is the senior coach of the North Melbourne Footy Club, and David Noble. Thanks for coming in.
Pleasure, Tony. Great to be here.
Well, what is it, excitement or relief?
Bit of both. I think it's excitement for our fans and our staff and players that have worked pretty hard. Our fans have stuck really fat, over the last sort of nearly 24 months, I think, from that side of things. So, but yeah, look, there's a little bit of relief in there because you want the guys to experience that joy after the game.
David, what about waking up this morning personally,
knowing you had to come in here?
No, you must, just compared to the previous 8 weeks, and I know it's been a build. Melbourne, you played pretty well. Collingwood, you played pretty well. You probably felt this might have been coming, but your own mood yourself this morning.
Yeah, there's probably that level of satisfaction, I think, Lloydie, and you get up and you're able to go to the coffee shop and you sort of the chest puffs out a little bit. So,
Don't hide.
It's been good. No, that's true, Bill.
Was the Melbourne game the one where you started to think, we can do this, we are a good side? Does that instill, and then do you go away after that game and then drum it into your players, have a look at how we played against the best in the comp?
Yeah, I think that's the one, Brandy, where it all seemed to come together. I think we're in the game in front of the Crows at three-quarter time. We're probably off the back of a little bit more individual. The Melbourne one was really system-based, we felt. We got a lot of things right, managed the game pretty well through that day, and I think from there we pulled those things out, punched that process back internally really hard, and then we've been chasing some win now for probably a good month.
Before we get into the highlights, you were sort of pillared a little bit through the week on the back of some comments from the week before where you were talking about process as opposed to wins. And I know that Lordo and Kane in particular were critical, not scathing, but critical. Were you a little bit upset that those might have been taken to the nth degree?
I think when things are out of context, I think you get a little bit annoyed. But I understand where these guys are coming from. I mean, they know damn well that internally the process is the way you've got to drive it early. And I've never for 1 minute said that we're not chasing wins from that side of things. So I get the narrative. I think our fans are on board and completely understanding, where we're at. But we're in it to win games. There's no doubt about that.
Kane, apologise.
No, I think the word David used after the game was nourishment. I just made the point that process, you're spot on process, but... Yeah, if the losses keep coming, well, then suddenly players could potentially question. So I think what's happened is Melbourne, Collingwood, and then you get that nourishment that you speak of. It's just wonderful for a footy club.
It is, but I think if you walked into our place at the moment, you wouldn't have a sense or a feel that we are sitting on the bottom of the ladder. Our energy's great, our understanding, I think, collectively as a whole, I think our club's really very united on the same page.
How have you done that? Because footy clubs can be a depressing place when you rock up Monday, and we've all been there, it's loss after loss after loss. What have you implemented to make sure you have not felt like a bottom club for the players?
I think it's two things, Cornsey. I think we're really calm with pulling the game apart and assessing realistically where we're at and the good bits. As Brandy said, we took a big chunk of the Melbourne, and that was able to sort of fast track us. And I think really clear with our game plan. We really review heavily around that game plan and then put into training, I think more importantly, what we want to get out of the next game. So I think our training has escalated up as well.
You want to see your good young players play well in games like yesterday. Jai Simpkin touted as a future captain of the football club, 38 disposals. He was outstanding. I mean, he's not a young player anymore. He's done this for a number of probably 2 or 3 years now. So you come to expect this from him, but yesterday was a standout.
It was. And look, the previous 2 couple of games, credit to Jai, we rolled him through the wing to develop another element of his game as a midfielder. It's a bit more of that, I guess, that inside-outside, combination. Yesterday it really came together with him. But credit to, I think, our other guys around the stoppages. The structure that we were able to run yesterday allowed Jai to execute what we felt his capabilities were going to be.
What was the turning point, you think, in the game, David, yesterday?
I think the third quarter, Lloyd, I think our pressure was outstanding. I thought it was a new level for us, and I think our discipline to structure was probably the best that it's been. The stoppages, forwards, the way that we defended, I think, across the ground was really good.
TJ and I had a bit of a debate on the back of some comments Jeff Kennett made about turning things around in 2 years, and I know it's tough to put a time frame on it, but for North fans out there, do you have an expectation of how long it can take before you're competing seriously with top 8 and aiming for that, or you're not willing to put a time on it?
Look, we're unsure. I think in the first 12 months there's a lot of learning that goes in between the players, learning how we coach. We've got a brand new coaching group. There's an element of us learning more about the players and maybe where their growth or improvements are. I think the injuries that we've had has absolutely allowed us to play some of our young guys and learn more about our players. That's been really exciting. It's probably a bit early. I'm in a hurry. Like as a coach, so that's but we've got some mechanisms. You've got the draft, you've got trade, you've got free agency, you've got mid-year draft now. So there's a lot of those areas that I think Glenn Luff and the guys are heading up in regards to the list management structure around that.
That mid-season draft. What's the lad's name from Mentone Grammar?
Jacob Edwards. Is he?
He's going pretty well.
Yeah,
Right?
so it's in 10 days' time. So you could get a 10-year player out of it. I know a lot of other clubs like Marlon Pickett, maybe they would look at, can he impact now? But for you, is it a different view to how you could use the mid-season draft?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's where we're at. We'll have a meeting probably at the end of this coming week where we'll decide what that component of talent looks like. Mind you, if you take a 23, I mean, I look at my own fellow, John, who got taken as a young 20-year-old. So that's still growing for the future. So it doesn't just have to be someone like an 18 or a 19-year-old, but yeah, that's certainly in the mix.
A lot of commentary about coaching and the industry. Chris Scott's been strong on it. Patrick Dangerfield during the week said, "Why would you want to be a coach?" There's an article in the Herald Sun today saying there's a bad vibe about coaching. John Longmire, a lot of coaches outspoken. How difficult is it? You're new. Do you need more support and more resources?
Yeah, it's been tough. Yeah, there's no doubt that there's a well-being issue that I think from a coaching fraternity that we need to be really conscious of. I think as a collective across all of our clubs, we're probably feeling that pinch point as well. There's a broader range of what we do, not just as in coaching and the technical acumen. It's a lot of time that we put into investing into relationships with players. And I think the support mechanisms have probably been diluted a fair bit with the soft cap. So it's a real concern for us as a bunch of coaches, no doubt. Not just senior coaches, like I'm talking coaches all the way down.
Do you feel like you're heard? Because you expressed that to the AFL, are they listening?
I think we're starting to be heard, yeah.
Okay, we've got some votes.
We do. Brownie, I think you did the votes for this one.
Cunnington, I thought, was fantastic.
Man.
Simpkin. Wingard really got the Hawks going early. And Goldstein, his tap work yesterday was phenomenal.
So it's good to have the young boys, but the old boys have been good, haven't they?
Been outstanding.
What
Bill.
about this old boy?
Absolutely outstanding.
There we go.
54 years of age.
67,
Change
baby.
it around.
Yeah, so happy birthday for yesterday.
Thank
and
you.
I guess the icing on the cake was the win yesterday.
It was a very special day.
Yeah, so do you get the day off today to spend it with the family? Or?
Spend a few hours. Yeah, we'll probably catch up with the kids tonight. Sarah's down from Queensland, so we'll go out for dinner tonight. So, but got to do the tape. We've got VFL playing. So
Will you eat that cake or not?
if I'm allowed to take it away, I will.
Yeah, absolutely.
Send it down.
No, you take that home with you there, and of course you've got the Bombers next week at Marvel, and that's a little appropriate given that your family all have nicknames, don't they, from Marvel characters?
They do.
Yeah,
They
what's
do.
yours?
Hulk.
Right, Hulk. You dig into that, and thanks for coming in, and well done on the win.
Pleasure. Thanks,
Good on you,
guys.
Hulk. There he goes. Hulk Noble joining us there on the Sunday Footy Show. We'll take a break. Lordo's Deep Dive, it's up next.